Are you going to play something for us?
I am the song leader today.
Yay!
Please mute everyone.
Hold on. Okay, cool.
Host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
We need you muted. And Kirk, I can't get my screen up. There you go. Thank you.
Jackie, can you hear me?
Yes, and now we're muting you.
Welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas Rotary Club. Rotary International President Mark Daniel Maloney's theme for this year asks us Rotarians to strengthen the many ways that Rotary connects the world, building connections that allow talented, thoughtful, and generous people to unite and take meaningful action through Rotary service. Our club demonstrates every day how we are living President Maloney's mission with our local and international service projects through unity, connections, and action. My name is Jacqueline Thornhill, and I am honored, even during these challenging times, to serve as your 97th president of the greatest Rotary Club in the world. Thank you for participating in our Facebook live stream or Zoom. On this day in TV history in 1992, the final episode of the original MacGyver aired. In music history in 1985, Marvin Gaye's Dream of a Lifetime was released. It was his last album. In US president history in 1954, the US Senate rejected President Eisenhower's plan for the 18-year-old voting rights. And quote of the day comes from author A.A. Milne. People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. Our invocation today will be led by Anna Oriana. Please unmute her.
You're good to go. Whoops.
Now, okay, good to be back. Thanks. I'm so glad to see everyone again. And hopefully we'll see you every week. Okay, let us remember the words of St. Paul in his letter to the Philippians. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God your needs and don't forget to thank him for his answers. Our Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to come together with the modern technology that you supply us with for times like this. We ask for your blessing for this meeting. Please especially bless the ones that have lost loved ones. Give them courage and strength to accept that we are all on our way to heaven. Some of us go sooner than others, but we'll all meet there someday. Please bless every family and business represented in our Rotary membership. Give us the peace that can only come from you, the one that surpasses all understanding and lasts forever. Allow us now more than ever to become beacons of light to the rest of the world, to be able to be of service to our brothers and sisters, and to truly love one another and care for one another. We thank you for your favor of health and protection reigning on all of us. We believe that one touch of your favor is worth more than a lifetime of labor. We trust our cares unto you. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we thank you. Amen.
Amen. We have a special song today led by Goldie herself, Miss Jamie Goldsmith. Please unmute her.
Hi, everyone. Today I am going to honor one of the founding fathers of rock and roll and play a tribute to Little Richard. Going to tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. He thinks he has the misery, but he knows how to find out, baby. Yeah, baby. Ooh, baby. I'm living someone's way. Well, long tall Sally she built a speech she's got everything that Uncle John needs, so baby. Good golly, Miss Molly, sure like to ball. Good golly, Miss Molly, sure like to ball. If you rockin' and you rollin', you can't see your They gonna have some fun tonight. They gonna have some fun tonight. Ooh, have some fun tonight. Well, they gonna be alright. Have some fun. Have some fun. Mama, do mama, do them go to the parade. All parade, 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 to the parade. To the parade, mama, do mama, rock them do. Y'all make me nervous.
Good job, girl. Thank you.
Thank you.
That may go viral.
Everybody, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. All right. Our Sergeant at Arms Day, of course, is Captain Kirk Holmes, and he'll be handling the mics. We do have some visitors today. My guests today are Daniel Warren and Ari Weinberg. They are producing a documentary about Rotary clubs in the US. Would you unmute Daniel so he can say a few words, please?
You're unmuted, Daniel. Oops, not yet.
Right. Oh, there we are.
There you go.
Hello, Rotarians of Las Vegas. Thank you for having Ari and myself. Jacqueline, thank you for having us. We are in the beginning phases of the documentary that you mentioned. We are still picking up all the breadcrumbs, or the yarns as they call them. And we're just really grateful to be sitting in here, sharing this space with you and observing. Again, we're really only thankful right now for getting to see how this works, how this world participates. And my biggest thing as a storyteller, everyone, is I try to kill bias. That is one of the most difficult things to do in this day and age right now. And so my goal is to take what I thought I knew about Rotary clubs and turn that on its head. So that's why I'm here today.
Well, thank you very much. And we're honored to have you. And of course, you selected the greatest Rotary club in the world to get started.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you. Please take the mic to Toni Kern, please. She has a guest as well.
Tony, you're unmuted. Oops. Now you're on.
No, she's still mute.
I'm trying to unmute her.
Okay. The wonders of technology.
Okay. I will unmute you, Tony. We're probably both mute. Come on. All right, Tony, you try and unmute yourself.
How's
There you
that?
go.
There we go.
Oh, yay. Is Jeremiah Cotner on the phone? We had a prospective member who's very interested. He was going to attend, but I don't hear that he's on the line. So pass me up, Jackie, but thank you.
You're welcome. And the introduction of the virtual head table is our speaker today is Marta Mina. She is UNLV president, and she will be more deeply introduced a little later. Welcome all of our visiting Rotarians and guests. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Rotarians who helped out today. Invocation was led by Anna Oriana. Our song was Miss Vegas, Goldie Vegas herself, Jamie Goldsmith. Our Sergeant at Arms, Kirk Holmes. Our scribe today is Judith Pinkerton. All things technical, Kirk Holmes and Stu Lipoff. My announcements, remember the People of Action campaign. I have received some from you. Keep it up because I am trying to fill up the wheel and make sure that it's got as much relevant content in it as possible. So please send me an electronic format and what's going on, what time, what day, what it was. A reminder that your monthly or quarterly contributions to our Las Vegas Rotary Foundation is what helps fund our projects. And please consider donating to the permanent fund to keep our club legacy going. We're all filling out those contribution forms for Richard's year presently. Lowry's is preparing to open. I've been in contact with both Ed and Michelle. His staff does have new protocols. We may have a possibility of having as many as 60 people in the room, but we have not received confirmation. My assumption is that Ed is working with the attorneys for his restaurant group and making sure that everything is handled there appropriately so that we can abide by the protocols and directives handed down from our governor. As soon as I know anything going on, I will let you know. Virtual Green Book, some of you have asked about that. It is in the wheel, so I hope you're clicking that open and looking through it. So you can click on the QR code there in the wheel. Virtual Craft Talk, we at least have at least one more possibility for any of you to showcase your businesses. I need 250 word description or less, a picture, and your logo if you'd like to be featured in an upcoming wheel. Okay, moving right along. Our announcements today. Please give the mic back to Tony Kern, please, about our upcoming membership orientation.
All right, Tony, I will unmute you.
Try unmuting yourself.
Yeah.
Tony, can you unmute yourself?
I did, I
There we
think.
go.
You got it. You got it.
Okay, thank you, President Jackie. This is a first me being able to talk twice. Everyone, I want to announce that we have our new member orientation presently scheduled for June 16th, 6 p.m. Our host will be Jerry Senes. He has graciously opened his home
Jerry
to us.
Engel.
Jerry Engel, I'm sorry. And we should have between 2 to 4 new members who will be attending the orientation. More details will come shortly.
Thank you. Please turn over the mic to Samuel Gordon, please, about our wheelchair project. Oh, I mean past President Michael Gordon.
Mike,
thank you,
there you go.
President Jackie. I'm talking slowly. I'm just walking out of the room. Yes, we have the wheelchairs that's been delivered. So we have 100 wheelchairs at the Salvation Army. If you know of anybody who is in permanent need of a wheelchair, please let me know and then we can drop it off. And of course, this is a project and a connection thanks to past President Jim Hunt and past President Karen Wisenant's a long-standing relationship that we have with the Wheelchair Foundation. So if you know of anybody, please let me know and we'll get a wheelchair to them.
And Sean delivered the first one this past week to a friend of hers. Okay, now turn over the microphone, please, to President-elect Richard Jost about the International Convention and District Assembly.
You are unmuted, Richard.
Thank you. I think anyone who opened the wheel for today's meeting saw the notice in there about the virtual Rotary International Convention the week of June 20th through 26th. If you went to the link that was in the last message about this, you saw that it's not all day, every day for an entire week. Most of the sessions are pretty early in the morning, our time, from 6 to 7 a.m. So with any luck, they'll be either rebroadcast or continuously broadcast for those of us who may have a little difficulty getting out of bed in time for a 6 a.m. meeting. And then the Monday through Friday portion would be also 6 to 7 a.m. And so hopefully we'll get a little bit of, I think Rotary has been doing a great job of, even if they don't rebroadcast it immediately, they almost always post it up to rotary.org within a few hours. And so I'm fairly confident that for people who don't want to be up at 6 a.m., there will be a way to attend these sessions. You may not be attending them live, and there may be a little bit of loss of participation because of that. And so it may be that if you want to participate live, you're going to have to get up at 6 a.m. Or I guess get up at 5:30 to put on a pot of coffee first. Our district assembly has also been converted to a virtual district assembly, and it will start on Tuesday, June 2nd, with a webinar, a training session, and then every Thursday thereafter, starting on June 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. Those, I'm happy to say, are at 6 p.m., not 6 a.m. And so hopefully you'll all be able to log into those and participate in the district assembly. Right now, the sessions include most of the service areas. The one that's not going to be included in the district assembly, which is somewhat non-traditional, is the global grants session, and that will be held separately from the district assembly workshops. And so once that's posted, hopefully at least 2 people, including Kim and anyone else that's going to be involved in global grants next year, will be able to attend that once we know when that session is going to come up. And beyond that, I don't know too much more. Obviously, those of us in our club who have Hawaiian shirt face masks should feel free to wear those face masks while you're participating in the virtual convention. So even though we didn't get to lay out on the beach in Hawaii, we can at least pretend we're at Hawaii at the actual convention this year. Thank you, President Jackie.
And Richard, while you've still got the mic, you just want to remind everyone to turn in their committee assignments?
Absolutely. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say this, but we're going to keep saying this every week. We'd like you to turn in the pledge forms so we can budget as accurately as possible for next year. And also the committee sign-up sheets. There's still plenty of openings on committees, including a few committee chair spots. And so the quicker you grab the spot you want, the more likely it is you're going to get it. Thank you.
Thank you, President-elect Richard. The next highway cleanup is scheduled for June 20th. Don't know anything about the brunch that usually follows that, but at least we'll get out there and do at least a cleanup before the end of this Rotary year. Please turn the microphone over to Melanie Muldowney, please, about the foundation matching points.
Melanie, you're good to go.
All right, thank you. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's coming to an end. The Rotary year is ending on June 30th, but until that time, you can still get matching points from the club to get you up to the next Paul Harris level. I'm actually looking at the summary report on my other screen here at my office. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, email me or anything, I can tell you where you're at and what you need to do to get to the next level. So just let me know.
Thank you, Melanie. And to answer your chat, past President Jim Cole, I do believe they're meeting at 8 o'clock, but I will get that confirmed. And while it's up to you, please give the mic to past President Jim Cole about something that's coming up later this month.
You're unmuted.
Thank you. So we're almost at the end of Jackie's year, and we're going to do a debunking party, and we're going to hold it at Rose Flacco's house. Thank you very much, Rose. happy to say that one of our construction clients has agreed to lend us a watering truck that they use on site. So we'll have plenty of water to take care of President Jackie. And
Better
if
wear my
you are
baby cap.
interested in participating in the skit, please drop me a note and I'll work in a part for you. And really look forward to seeing everybody. It's going to be live and we are going to cast it on Zoom too. So if you want to come and see everybody, that'd be fantastic. And if you're still concerned and would just like to participate virtually, we'll get you there. But we're looking forward to seeing everybody and we're going to have a good time celebrating all of soon to be past President Jackie's accomplishments.
Thank you, Jim. And I have a thing here called fines, and I'll just remind all of you that don't have any Rotary logoed hats or shirts on, you're all fined $97. Thank you very much for your contribution to our foundation. Now, please turn the microphone over to Kim Neone, please, to introduce our speaker.
You're unmuted, Kim.
All right, all right. Fellow Rotarians, it's my honor today to introduce our speaker, Dr. Marta Miana, president of University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Dr. Miana has led UNLV since 2018. She's a licensed clinical psychologist and previously served as the dean of the Honors College at UNLV. A renowned scholar in the field of clinical psychology, Dr. Miana's groundbreaking research has reshaped clinical approaches to women's health and human sexuality. She has published 2 books and close to 80 peer-reviewed journal articles and book chapters. Dr. Miana has led UNLV through leadership transitions and many milestones. Under her leadership, UNLV attained recognition as a Tier 1 institution, which, for those of you who don't know, is a designation that recognizes the university as one of the nation's top research institutions. UNLV has secured transformative funding in support of the medical school, transformative funding in support of the first ever state-of-the-art Fertitta football complex. UNLV has now become home of one of the nation's only schools of public health that currently is doing a lot of magnificent work in relation to the pandemic that we're facing. Throughout her career in her 25+ years of involvement at UNLV, one thing that always comes through about Marta is that she's a mission-driven leader. She's a leader who's dedicated to the welfare of your students here in Las Vegas. Throughout this pandemic and the different challenges that we've faced, as you can imagine, Dr. Miana has been at the forefront of providing steady and thoughtful leadership and how the university has transitioned from on-campus learning to remote learning. She's been focused on ensuring that our least fortunate students are able to participate in instruction, as well as leading the campus through the new reality and the new normal that we face. When you think of a university president who truly embodies what it means to be student-focused and student-centered, you cannot think of a better president than the president that your University of Nevada, Las Vegas has today. So it's my honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Marta Miana, our speaker today.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that very generous introduction, Kim. It really is a pleasure to be with you all today. I wish it were in person, but that day will come. And as Kim said, much like the rest of the nation, UNLV had to do the impossible in mid-March. We had to convert the entire operation. And you got to remember, staff and students together, we're talking 40,000 people, convert the entire operation to remote instruction with everything except essential operations also being managed from home. We also had to persuade 1,800 students who were in the residence halls to go home. That was very difficult. We actually have 170 who are still in the residence halls because they didn't have anywhere to go. But anyway, at the beginning of this, because I thought what you might want to hear from me today is how all of this has gone and what the future is is kind of looking like right now. But when it came down that we had to do this within a week, I remember thinking, oh my, we are in for a bumpy ride. But I have to tell you, I have never been prouder of UNLV. The faculty, staff, and students of this university really stepped up. We completed the semester successfully, and we graduated 3,100 new UNLV alumni. I know it was hard. It was definitely, as all of this has been on our entire community. And I imagine that this week everyone is exhausted from the gargantuan effort, but we did it, and we did it really relatively smoothly. So very, very proud of our institution. Now, if you thought that closing everything down was hard, we all know that reopening is proving to be even harder for all industries and all agencies. But I'm confident that that resilience that I saw in our people when we had to shut down will kick in again. And so I want to tell you a little bit what that reopening plan is. Again, I want to stress that our reopening plans are always contingent on three different things: public health conditions, because the safety of our faculty, staff, and students is paramount; on the governor's directives, and also that we're part of the Nevada system of higher education, and we have to coordinate with 7 sister institutions. So for now, we have 3 sessions in the summer. Summer session 1 and 2 are still going to be completely remote instruction. So up until July 10th, we remain in a remote instruction mode. Summer session 3, which starts in July, will be a hybrid, although it will still be primarily remote. So we're really just trying to get over the summer the campus ready for a fall reopening. So right now we are planning an in-person fall semester, although it'll be different. There will be a lot more remote teaching than in a typical semester. We're trying to reduce the density, right? So to have a lot of in-person offerings, but to reduce the density of individuals on campus at one time. And that's a complex undertaking. So right now, 68% of universities nationwide are planning, again, in-person instruction in the fall, although there are, as you see, some universities that have chosen to completely go remote in the fall. The 23 Cal State schools just called it last week. I understand why they're doing that. It's a lot easier, to be honest with you, to do that than to try to figure out a hybrid solution. But I'm guided by what our students want and what they value. And as long as I can keep it safe, we would prefer for there to be a non-campus experience for them that they so value. So we are ready to do this in-person thing again, if the health conditions warrant. And we're trying to be as safe as we can, but preserve some of the experience that students expect. It's likely there won't be too many large events in the fall, so the campus experience isn't going to be exactly the same. We're also very hopeful about athletics, but we will pivot if we have to. At the moment, NCAA requires that football players practice for 6 weeks before starting a season. So we're waiting for the governor's directives to be able to start getting the football team in to start practicing. We're also being hopeful about the possibility of spectators with social distancing, and Allegiant Stadium should make social distancing a little bit easier because it's huge. So please stay tuned. Again, these are plans. They're not certainties, but we're planning for a hopeful return. In terms of the staff at the university operations, the reentry is also complicated, and we'll be doing that in phases, again, contingent on the governor's directives. So for now, we're looking at a tentative plan of early June. Leadership will start returning to their offices. I've been here for a couple of weeks. I couldn't do the home thing anymore. And I figured I was safe here because no one else is here. And then have over a number of weeks kind of a staggered reentry into the campus. People are understandably anxious, because we are in a very anxiety-provoking situation. One is that we have no certainty about what the future is going to be at the moment, and that always makes people anxious. And the other one is that until we get a vaccine, there is going to be no risk-free scenario, right? We're going to have to be dealing with some level of risk until there is a vaccine. So you can see why this makes people nervous. But we're putting a lot of time, energy, and funds into protective measures, reconfiguring offices, plexiglass dividers for those folks who are public facing, masks for the entire campus, sanitizers, and strict hospital grade sanitation protocols for cleaning all of the offices. So that's kind of what the reentry is looking like for now. The other high level impact of this crisis, which we're all also dealing with, is budget cuts, right? I mean, the state budget has been decimated by the closing of our economy. And so we're waiting to see what that story looks like. A few weeks ago, the governor asked us to model 3 different budget reduction scenarios. One was a 6% budget reduction, one was a 10%, and one was a 14%. So at the 10% level, we would have to furlough folks at 2.6%. So at 6 days of the year, they'd be furloughed. And if we hit the 14% level of budget reductions, that goes up to 4.6% furlough, which is 1 day a month. We did manage, with the help of the federal funds, the CARES Act, to be able to avoid layoffs even at the 14% level. We could not have done that without that federal funding, so that we were massively grateful for that. Half of that funding went to emergency help for students, and half of it went to help us deal with the expenses of this COVID crisis. Now, word is that there is going to be a special legislative session in August that will be focused on the budget. So frankly, all we've done is model different scenarios, and we're waiting now for the governor to give us guidelines on the budget. But of course, we're as concerned as you all are in your industries about the impact, the financial impact of this crisis. Now, on a more positive note, crises also offer opportunities. And someone once said, don't ever let a crisis go to waste. So what we're trying to do is that instead of thinking about a return to normal, to think about a return to something better. Because we have learned things through this. We wouldn't have volunteered for this, but seeing as we got stuck with it, what can we gain from this experience? Well, we've learned some things, that much work can be done effectively remotely. And that some of these adjustments may be permanent. As you know, we always have a space crunch at the university and are always kind of begging for money from the state for new buildings and new space. Well, this would really, this discovery that certain functions are actually done just as effectively, if not more, from home, would obviously alleviate some of that space crunch. We've learned that students absolutely cherish contact with faculty. You know, everybody thought, oh, this is the digital generation. They're all going to love this remote stuff. They did not. They decidedly did not. They miss their professors. They miss the interaction. They miss the human aspect of instruction. So what that tells me is that when we go back and things are safe again, that we actually have to up that interaction, that we have to design our courses to have more of that than we had before this crisis, because it's been proven to us now that students do prefer to be in class with a human being teaching them than online. We've learned that UNLV is an integral part of this community. Not that we didn't know that, but we saw it demonstrated in a really impressive way in terms of the crisis effort. Our curbside testing at the UNLV Medicine was the largest testing site up until just recently for 9 weeks. We collected, we constructed collection kits for the testing in our biology department. Our public health students have been instrumental in the Southern Nevada Health District doing contact tracing and other types of help. So we were really front row center as a university in helping this community through this, and I'm super proud of that. But the crisis is also an opportunity to innovate. And so with the generosity of the Lee Family Foundation, in conjunction with our business school, we are embarking on this really exciting project, which is going to be a Shark Tank-like competition, international competition, to come up with gaming and hospitality innovations to respond to the challenges that the industry is facing. Our computer science department is working on blockchain for contact tracing. Our hospitality college is working on gaming and hospitality innovations also, as well as procedural manuals for the reopening of restaurants in a completely reconfigured way. So really, I guess I feel that as hard as this has been on all of us, the last thing you want to do in a crisis is to get stuck exclusively putting out fires. You have to continue dreaming about the heights you want to reach and to work on those concurrently as you're putting out the fires. Our first priority at this time is, as I said, the health and safety of our students, faculty, and staff. Our second priority is to continue to provide that first-class education to our students that we've now been recognized for. And I don't believe that in general, our priorities need to shift. We have been on an ambitious course with our top-tier strategic plan to become the highly ranked university that we are. But we also want that kind of ranking in student success, and we just got it in community engagement. Carnegie also recognized us as a community engaged university, one of 119 this year. So we're basically determined not to allow the crisis to derail that plan, to continue to aspire to excellence. So with budget cuts, we may have to divert our resources more narrowly toward areas that contribute to workforce and economic development. But our strategic plan is sound and it's been working beautifully, and I have no doubt that it will continue. This community, I have to say, has been unbelievably generous in helping us achieve these really lofty goals. And even though our entire community is hurting, folks have still stepped up to help our school. And we are just so massively grateful for that. UNLV is going to continue to make you proud. I promise that, both in its achievement and in its heart. And we just cherish the partnership that we have with this incredible town. And I know it's going to be rough for a little while now. But if we rely on each other and we help each other out, we'll get through it. Now, I just want to say in closing that typically at this ceremony, at this luncheon, what's usually a luncheon, we award the Nevada Centennial Medallion to a highly deserving student. But we heard loud and clear from our students that they want all of these things to happen in person. I'll tell you, when we shut down commencement and postponed it because we had to, we're clearly not going to put thousands of people in the Thomas and Mack in mid-May. We at first tried to come up with some really sophisticated virtual commencement ceremony. They wanted nothing of it. They want to be in the house, right? And so we will make the award for the Nevada Centennial Medallion in person the first time that we can do that. So thank you so much. And I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you,
Awesome.
President Marta. We have a lot of them, so hang on.
Okay.
First one's from Ted McAdam. Please give us a glimpse of how you accomplished the graduation this month.
How we accomplished it?
Yeah, so I guess it's just postponed.
Well, the commencement is completely postponed, but what I have promised the students is that they're not going to be melded into somebody else's graduation ceremony. They're going to get their own, because if there was ever a senior class that deserved their own big celebration, this is it. So one of the possibilities is the graduation ceremony in December, if conditions, that's usually one ceremony in the morning or in the afternoon. What we will do is we will create a second one that is specific to this awesome class.
Awesome. President Jackie asks, future of UNLV football team playing at Raider Stadium.
Well, that's the plan. And, you know, the Raiders are going forward. We're going forward. Again, there might be risk mitigation strategies involved, but we will be at Allegiant Stadium in the fall.
Nice. From Stu, what percentage of enrolled students did and did not participate in the remote learning?
I do not have a figure on that, but from my understanding, I'll try to get you an actual number. My understanding is the vast majority, like in the 98 or 99% stuck through it.
Awesome. So President Jackie, thank you for thinking of the students with resuming live classes. How are the professors responding to all this?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, they're nervous. And so the first thing that we've done is anybody who is in a vulnerable category or taking care of folks at home who are in a vulnerable category, or if it comes to pass that childcare centers aren't open yet, those people have first dibs on remote teaching in the fall. So, you know, we are not going to put anybody at any risk other than the minimum risk that we're all going to have to live with, even just going to the grocery store.
All right, and then that kind of answers the next question from Daniel Warren. Did you find leading UNLV through the change to be insular or something you and your staff had to figure out internally, or were you able to connect with other universities and or government agencies to collaborate towards your solutions?
Oh, there was an enormous amount of communication among universities and government agencies. This has been, you know, we all learn from each other. And if somebody's got a great idea that we hadn't thought of and vice versa. So it was very much a collaborative effort. And I would say nationally, not just certainly within the Nevada system of education, but nationally, there was a lot of collaboration.
Another question from Stu, was the CARES Act funding a loan or will it convert to a grant?
There are CARES Act grants. This funding, and I'll tell you exactly what it was. We got close to $24 million, 12 of which we dispersed immediately to the neediest students. And the other 12, which are obviously paying for all of the difficulties that this has caused. So there are a number of other grants. So there's another one that we should be getting soon, and that's we're an Hispanic serving institution, and there's some CARES Act money for Hispanic serving institutions. So we'll be getting that shortly. And then there's all sorts of grants that we're applying for.
Awesome. Also from Stu, he's been enjoying the fine arts virtual programs that he would not have attended if a live event. Will future events go hybrid?
You know, that is such a great question. I'll tell you again, you know, there are surprising things that happen when you're forced into these weird situations. So I did a town hall almost 2 weeks ago. If I had done an in-person town hall, I would have been lucky to have 200 people present. There were 900 people on that town hall. And so what we're finding is that these remotely delivered programs, be they cultural or otherwise, are actually being, I would even say, attended to a greater extent than the in-person variety. So yes, that is one of the things that we'll definitely be considering.
From past President Jim Hunt, President Marta, it is great to see you healthy and safe. Thank you for taking time to be with us and for your leadership. I'm so proud of the job that my sweetheart Leslie did by adapting to teach her business class remotely for UNLV. With more remote classes being likely in the fall, are there any technology training classes and improvements that are being considered to make the online experience even better?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we are in the process of organizing a number of mini courses that can be taken remotely for our faculty over the month of July to enhance their skill in providing instruction remotely. And hi, Jim, and give my love to Leslie.
From Richard, what is your assessment of the mental health impact of the virus and of the stay-at-home orders?
It's been profound, to be honest with you. So we're offering all of our psychological services as telehealth, obviously, because we couldn't. They are inundated. I mean, I think it's very difficult for folks to be isolated and to not be able to get the kind of support that they're used to getting. So this is something that we're putting resources into because we've become aware of the fact that our students, you know, and I'm sure our staff and faculty, but our students have been massively affected by this.
And then from past President Jim Cole, how is UNLV accommodating students with learning disabilities who are distance learning?
Well, that we definitely are doing it, but I wouldn't be able to give you the details of how. It depends on the disabilities. So I would have to get back to you on details of that. I wouldn't be giving a very informed answer, but I know that we've paid, our Disability Resource Center has been on top of it.
Okay, and then from Ted McAdams, does UNLV anticipate a growing need for tuition assistance?
Well, yes. So in the 14%, I told you we had to model 3 budget cut scenarios, 6, 10, and 14. In the 14% version, even with the CARES Act funding and a 4.6% furlough, we still have to do a temporary student surcharge, which kills us. That's always our absolute last resort, is to put this on the students. But when it starts getting that high, there's not much else you can do.
All right, and then I have a question. Several of us were talking, smoking cigars, about there being a need for several students, or quite a few students at UNLV, with computers and stuff so they can actually complete distance learning. And also that there is a shortage in supply chain getting computers typically for businesses right now. How is that being dealt with, and what kind of community outreach has UNLV initiated to help fill that need?
We did that really early. And so really early on, we bought loaner laptops when the supply chain hadn't been yet as affected as it ended up being. And so we, in fact, did 2 things for our students in terms of their connectivity and staff. And that is that we bought a large number of laptops that we loaned to folks who didn't have those at home. And we also worked with Cox Communication to connect homes that did not have internet connectivity for a very, very low monthly rate.
Cool. President Jackie, that was the last question. Hold on, I'm trying to unmute you.
All right.
There.
Can you hear me? President Marta, thank you so much for taking your time with us today. It's very exciting because we all absolutely adore UNLV. There are many of us that attend both the football and the basketball games. We're excited about them playing in Raider Stadium. And so we're looking forward to everything that's coming. It sounds like you're excited, that you think there's a lot of light down at the end of this gigantic tunnel. I'm glad that you're taking the students and their need to be together. It's like our Rotary Club. We miss the socializing and being together and joining with our projects. So thank you so much for all that you're doing. We're so proud of our UNLV, and we'll be looking for hosting the person that you give the medallion coin to. That's of course very near and dear to our hearts, as you know.
Of course.
So thank you much again. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Next week, we're having our Memorial Day presentation, and Ted McAdam and Steve Linder have an amazing presentation. So everybody make time to be on next week's meeting. There will be a board of directors meeting at 1:30. In the words of a woman I most admire, Amelia Earhart, no kind action ever stops with itself. One kind action leads to another. Let's leave today building connections, taking kind action, serving one another, and rejoicing in the fellowship of Rotary. Meeting adjourned. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks
Nice
for
to
having
see
us.
Bye, everybody. See ya.
Bye.